Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. Let's begin our class with this beautiful dua. Rabbi zidni ilma. O my Lord, increase me in my knowledge. But today the topic we are going to discuss is the universe from geography. And this is week 2 and unit 1 of this week. Let's begin. Alright. In this topic, the terms that we are going to study for the first time or the new terms, we have written over here with the definitions. The first is Big Bang. Many scientists believe that about 13.7 billion years ago, there was an unbelievably large explosion called the Big Bang. This is before the creation of human beings. It means that the life was not started at that time in this world when this thing happened. And how we have got to know, that is another debate. We are going to study that in our next topics. Then the term is light year. In order to make measuring distances in space easier, scientists use a unit of measurement called a light year. Light year is comprised of many years that we have on our earth. Like 1 year here we have of 365 days, but the light year is comprised of many years like that. The third word is nebulae. Millions of stars are grouped together in nebulae or clusters shaped like gigantic spirals, like a spring, you can say, in circular motions. The fourth and the last term, Milky Way or galaxy. Why it's called Milky Way? Because from far off it looks like that milk has been spread on the sky. Anyways, the definition says, the nebulae to which our solar system belongs, we call it the Milky Way or galaxy. It can be seen at night as a broadband or light across the sky. In the next slide, you can see the Milky Way's images. Alright, now we come to the Big Bang theory in Quran. Quran has mentioned this Big Bang theory as well. Allah says that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit before we clubbed them asunder. The ayat reference is also mentioned over here. Following this big explosion, Allah turned to the sky and it had been as smoke. He said to it and to the earth, come together, willingly or unwillingly. They said, we come together in willing obedience. As you know that every creature of Allah, whether it's said to be the tree or the stone, they follow the commandments of Allah. Thus the elements and what was to become the planets and stars began to cool. They were very hot, like a fireball, then they cool down, come together and form into shape, following the natural laws that Allah established in the universe. That is the ayat from Quran. Now we come to the solar system. Our star is the sun. There are many suns in the universe, and the closest star to us is said to be the sun of Earth. It has 8 planets and smaller masses of rocks called asteroids going around it in orbit. Orbit basically is an imaginary line or circular line on which these planets move. The sun and all the planets that orbit around it makes the solar system. The sun contains 99% of all the material in our solar system. The solar system is more than 6 billion kilometers across. It's very huge, very huge distance. Alright, we come to the next slide with this, and it is all about the planets. Let's see the bullets, what they say. A planet is a large body in space which orbits around a large star called a sun. As I told you, the sun is also a star, and why it looks so huge and bigger than the other star? Because it's very close to the earth. Not very close, but it is closest to the earth. Our sun has 8 planets orbiting around it, and the names are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Pluto was classified as a planet in 9th in the order. That was the last planet in the order. But it has been reclassified as a dwarf planet. Now it's called a dwarf planet. It's no more mentioned in this list. Why? Because it's very small. Dwarf means it's very little. These planets vary in size. Vary means they are different in size. They do not have the same size and shape. Earth makes its revolution in 365 days and a quarter days, which is why there are 365 days in a year. Revolution basically is a complete round of Earth around the Sun. Here you can see the sequence of these planets starting from Mercury ending at Neptune, and you can see that some of the planets are very huge like Jupiter and Saturn, and some are very small like Mercury, which is like a dot on this picture. Mars also is very small. Earth is the third in queue and Venus is the second one. All these planets have different temperature, different materials they are made up of. Now let's move to our next slide. Moons or natural satellites. What are moons and what do we understand by this word satellites? Satellites. A satellite is anything that orbits around a larger object. A natural satellite is any celestial body in space that orbits around a larger body. Moons are called natural satellite. Why it's written moons? Because there is a list of moons in the universe. There is not only one. Anyways, they are called natural satellite because they orbit planets. Satellites that are made by people are launched into the orbit using rockets are called artificial satellites. There are thousands of artificial satellites orbiting the Earth. Galileo was the first person to discover that planets can have moons. Any large object that orbits around the planet is called a moon. Alright. Now here we see that what is the number of different moons around the planets. Like Jupiter has 4 moons, Mars has 2, Saturn over 50. Venus and Mercury have no moons. So it's not necessary that every planet has the same number of moons. Now you can see the pictures of artificial satellite and natural satellite. Natural satellites are obviously made by Allah. They are naturally present in the universe. And the second one is the artificial satellite that is made by human and sent into the space, because of which you can just transform your voice from one place to another. All these mobile networks and channels that we see on our TVs, these are possible because of these artificial satellites. And in the next picture you can see one man standing on the moon. So what do we call those people who go on the moon? They are known as astronauts. Yes. Alright, now let's come to the next slide, which is the last slide of this topic. Here you can see some home assignment. You have been given some questions that you need to answer. Again, the same thing. Answers are all present in the slides. You just need to go through them and find these answers. First question is, what do you understand by the term galaxy? Second, briefly explain the solar system. Third, how many moons do the planets have? You have to tell about all the other planets which have different numbers of moons. You can make a column and write the answers. What is meant by an artificial satellite? With this, we come to the end of this presentation. Allah Hafiz and take care.